Tonight, we're going to look at creating rules from patterns with integers. So I want to start by reminding you, okay, of what is an integer, guys. So what is an integer? We spoke about integers last week. Remember that integers are not just negative numbers, they are positive and negative numbers. So integers are positive and negative numbers. All right. A lot of the time, a lot of us just think that integers are negative numbers. Remember that integers are sometimes also positive and negative numbers. So when we see integers, we just start thinking that integers must be negative. No, they're not. They're positive and negative numbers. Okay. So if we're looking at creating patterns with integers, right? The question says, use each equation to create a pattern with 8 terms. Hint, for the first term, let x equal 1. Hint, for the first term, let x equal 1. So guys, what we're going to do is we're going to put these into a table, first of all, to help ourselves out. So we're going to draw a nice little table out. I've got some space here on the top. So I'm going to draw a table here for myself. I'm going to put x on the top of my table, and I'm going to put y on the bottom. Okay, and they told me, hint, for the first term, let x equal 1. So I'm going to say x equals 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, they only wanted 8 terms. Oopsie daisy. So that's how big I'm going to go. All right, so there's my table. Okay, I've drawn a table in. I've gone and I've said that x equals 1. Then I've said 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This should look familiar to you. Okay, we were working with these tables before when we did number patterns. All right, all we've gone and we've done so far is we've taken our rule that they've given us and we've drawn a table so far. Now, what we're going to go do is we're going to say, okay, my rule is y is equal to 3x minus 1. And for the first one, they've gone and told me that x is equal to 1. So instead of seeing x, I'm going to go put in a 1. So I'm going to say y is equal to 3. Instead of having just x, I'm saying 3 times by 1 minus 1. So y equals 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 minus 1 gives me 2. So on the bottom here, I'm going to put a 2. Okay. Moving across to my next one. Now they're telling me that x is equal to 2. So I'm going to have 3 times by 2 minus 1. 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 minus 1 will give me 5. So on the bottom here, I'm going to say 5. All right, I'm going to do one more with you. I'm going to go say x equals 3. So instead of seeing x star, I'm going to see 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. And 9 minus 1 will give me 8. So on the bottom, I'm going to see 8. All right, I'm going to give you a chance. Okay, I'm going to give you a chance to go and try those. Okay, I'm going to give you a chance to go and try those. All right. While you are trying those, I see that I have Mose. Mose, you have a question for me. I'm going to unmute you. Mose, do you want to ask your question?
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I can hear you.
Ma'am, when you specifically said y equals 3x minus 1, how did you get to the other answer, y equals 8?
Y equals 8. I said, instead of seeing x, I said 3 times by, and instead of putting the x, I said 3. Okay, so I substituted in the x for 3. So can you see I said 3 times 3 minus 1. 3 times 3 gives me 9, and 9 minus 1 will give you 8.
Oh, I see, ma'am.
Does it make sense? Okay, cool. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. All right, Nikki, do you have a question for me?
Miss, I would like to help you when everyone's done with
Okay,
the.
wonderful, Nikki. I'm going to come back to you. I'm just going to see if anybody else has a question. And I'm definitely coming back to you, Nikki. I promise. Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. Does anybody else have a question? So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to lower everybody's hands quickly. If you do want to help, then I will ask if anybody wants to help me. But I just want to check if anyone has any questions for now. So I'm just going to lower all your hands and ask if anyone has any questions quickly. Okay, if you have a question, does anybody want to raise their hand now for me? So if you have a specific question, all right. So I've got Sanati.
Hi,
Sanati,
ma'am.
what's your
Can you hear
question?
me?
Hi. Yes, I can hear you.
Ma'am, I don't understand how you got that the rule is 3.
You don't understand how I got this? Say it again.
I don't understand how you got 3.
You don't understand how I got 3.
Yes.
Which 3? The 3x minus 1, that one.
Yes.
Okay, so what I did was I went and I had a look at what the questions asked me. So the question says to me, okay, it says, use each of the equations to create a pattern with 8 terms. A, y is equal to 3x minus 1. So I used the rule that they gave me, and the rule they gave me was y is equal to 3x minus 1. Does that make sense?
Not really. I don't understand. Is it because 2 to get to 5 is 3? Because we only learned about this kind of today at school.
Okay, that's fine. So does it make sense that they've given you this rule, that they've given you y is equal to 3x minus 1? Do you see that?
Oh,
So
the
they've
rule's
actually,
already given.
yes, can you see they've given you
Oh.
y is equal to 3x minus 1? So they've told
Oh.
you y equals 3x minus 1. That's where the rules come from.
Oh, now I understand. Thank you.
Does it make sense? You're welcome. No problem. Thanks, Nati, for your question.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Mufaro, do you have a question for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Sonny, I didn't really get it. Can you please help me with number 1 there? Because I was left and I was just so confused.
No problem, Mufaro. Does it make sense that y is equal to 3x minus 1? Does that make sense?
Pardon?
Does it make sense that y is equal to 3x minus 1? That that's what they gave you. Can you see that's what
Yes,
they've given you, okay? Okay.
yes,
So,
ma'am.
Mufaro, what's actually
Ma'am?
happening between the 3 and the x?
Ma'am?
What's happening between the 3 and the x? What's missing here? What are we lazy to do go right? We lazy to go right what?
We subtracting.
No, okay, so we lazy to go say this. Hey, we lazy to go say 3 times by x minus 1, hey?
1. Yes, ma'am.
That's what we're too lazy to go right, hey? Because mathematicians, we're a little bit lazy, okay? So that's what we're too lazy to go right. So now, we've gone and we've said that x is equal to 1. So we're going to say y is equal to, Instead of seeing x, what are we going to say? We're going to say 1, hey?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
3 times by 1 minus 1. What's 3 times 1, Mufaro?
It's 3.
3. And what's 3 minus 1?
2.
2. So we put in a
2.
2.
Oh, it makes sense now.
Good. Well done. Thank you, Mufaro.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I am going to go back to Nikki. Nikki, where are you on my screen? Where's Nikki?
Hello, Miss.
Nikki, is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, Nikki. Are you going to answer number 4 with me, Nikki?
Yes.
Okay, Nikki, right. Let's go.
3 times. Yes. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 minus 1 is 11.
Fantastic, Nikki. Let's do number 5 together.
3 times 5 is 15 minus 1 is 14.
Fantastic. Can we finish it off? What's number 6?
Yes, miss. 3 times 6 is 18 minus 1 is 17.
Fantastic. And number 7?
3 times 7 is 21 minus 1 is 20.
Well done. And last one, let's go.
3 times 8 is 24 minus 1 is 23.
Well done. Thank you so much, Nikki.
No problem, miss. Thank you.
Okay. Right, guys. So Nikki helped me fill this in. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at what happens if they gave us this table and they asked us to find the rule. Okay. What happens if they gave us this table and then they asked us to go and find the actual rule? So if I was looking at this table, everybody, all right, what would the first thing I would look at when I was looking at this table? I would go say to myself, okay, well, if I'm looking at the difference, is there a common difference between each of these numbers? What am I doing each time, okay, to get to the next one? So I'm seeing Tara Jane's telling me that there's a common difference each time. Tara Jane, can you tell me what the common difference is between each of these? Where's Tara Jane? Okay, I see some people are telling me in the chat. There's Tara Jane. Right, Tara Jane. Okay, Tara Jane, tell me. What's the common difference?
Adding 3 every time.
Good, Tara Jane. Good. I'm adding 3 each time. Awesome. So Tara Jane, you guys did this at school today, so you must have done so well at this because we've done this, hey?
Yes.
Good. Well done. Okay. Thank you, Tara Jane. So we're adding 3 each time. Cool. Okay. So we are adding 3 each time. All right. So that's my common difference, guys, that I'm adding 3 each time. So if I'm looking at my rule, I'm going to go say y is equal to. What am I doing each time? I'm adding 3. So remember, what am I going to go say? I'm going to go say my difference is 3, because that's my common difference, times by x. Oopsie daisy, sorry guys. 3 times by x. And now I want to add something. Now I want to add something. So 3 times by x plus something is going to get me to my output here. 3 times by x plus something gets me to my output. So if you remember, when we did this a little while ago, we did it kind of like a cloud. If you remember this, we did it like a cloud. So we said, okay, we went and said input. All right. And then we said input. I'm just trying to think how we did this again. Sorry, guys. We said
Okay,
that.
teacher Kirsty, thank you. Sorry to bother while you are
Oh.
just sorting that out.
No problem.
Anam, Ufaru, Retumetse, Umar, and Moseki, please put down your hands and listen. Please listen to the teacher and put down your hands. Moseki, Anam, please put down your hands. You are not listening when your hands are up. Thank you so much. You can put your hands up when teacher says it's question time again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hugo. Thank you so much. Okay.
Nati, please put down your hand. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay, guys. So we went and we said, okay, that we were going to take our inputs. All right. And we were going to multiply it by x. Okay. Plus, all right, and we were going to get our output. All right, so, okay, so we've got our inputs. Oopsie daisy, missing some space here. So our inputs, right, is our difference multiplied by x plus something gives us our output. So in this case, we've got our input. So we take our number 1. Okay, and we said already that our difference was 3 times by x plus something gives us our output. And our output in this case was 2. So 3 times by 1 gives us 3. And 3 minus what will give me 2? 3 minus 1. So in other words, when we put this into our sum, another way of us saying it is that we can say y is equal to 3 times by x minus 1 will give us our answer. Is that what we had before in the sum? 3x minus 1? Yes, it is. So we look for our common difference, and then we find what our missing constant is. Okay, let's go have a look at B. So I'm going to go and erase my numbers quickly. Let's go erase my numbers. So again, all right, again, I'm looking to put them in the same block, guys. Okay, I'm looking to put them in the same block. They want 8 again, but this time my sum is going to be y is equal to negative 4x minus 7. Negative 4x minus 7. So I want to give you guys a few minutes to go try work that out for me. Y is equal to negative 4x minus 7. Y is equal to negative 4x minus 7. All right, I want to give you a chance to go and try and work that out. All right, we've done it before. Okay, so I want you to go try and work out the y values. Okay, so you've been given the x values. I want you to try go and work out the y values before you start raising your hands. All right, I see I've got Museki. Museki, do you have a question for me? Hi, Museki, what's your question?
Ma'am, when add y equals 3x minus 1, how should I do it? How should I do y equals 3x minus 1?
How should you do it?
Yes,
how should you fill in the blocks?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Museki, were you a little bit late for our lesson, or were you listening when we filled them in together?
I was. Ma'am, can you please repeat the question?
Sure. Were you watching when we filled them in together for the last one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's fill in this one together. So just pay attention while we're filling this one in together. See if you understand. If you still don't understand, all right, then this lesson is recorded. You can go back and watch how we filled in 3x minus 1 as well, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, No problem. All right. Unati, do you have a question for me?
No, ma'am, sorry. I just wanted to answer the question, but it's fine,
Okay,
ma'am.
I'll come back to you, Unati. Okay, I promise. You can help me fill it in.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. So I've got Ritu. You should be able to unmute yourself. Have you got a question for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, how can I help?
How do you do it? Because I can't really explain it. Because for me, we didn't do it yet, so
Okay,
I don't understand the question.
That's fine. We're going to do it again together now. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure. All right, guys. So let's have a look at filling it in together, and then I'm going to ask Unati to help me fill in the rest. Okay. So let's have a look at filling in some together. So first of all, I'm just going to ask, I've still got somebody's speaker who is unmuted at the moment. If I can ask you to just mute your speaker. All right. So I've got y is equal to negative 4x minus 7. Remember, what's happening here is I'm actually saying to myself that y is equal to negative 4 times by x minus 7. So when it says negative 4x minus 7, it actually means y is equal to negative 4 times by x minus 7. So for my first one, I'm going to go say y is equal to negative 4 times by 1 minus 7. So y is equal to negative 4 times by 1 gives me negative 4 minus 7. I can go and I can draw myself a little number line on the side here. Negative 4 minus 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gets me to negative 11. So y will be equal to negative 11. So in my block, I'm going to say negative 11. Okay. For my next sum now, I'm going to do the exact same thing. But now y is going to be equal to negative 4 times by 2 minus 7. So y is equal to negative 4 times by 2 gives me negative 8 minus 7. So I can go draw a number line. I can go work out what's negative 8 minus 7. Y will be equal to negative 15. So here in my block, negative 15. Okay. All right. I am looking for Unati. Where's Unati to help me? Unati wanted to help me with the others, with some. Unati, are you still with me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Unati, let's go. When x is equal to 3, what's y equal to, Unati?
Sorry, ma'am.
So what's the next one, Unati?
It's going to be negative 4 times 3.
Good. Which is negative 12, and then?
And then 12 subtract 7. Which is 5.
Okay, be careful. It's negative 12. So negative 12 minus 7 gives you negative 19. Okay. All right. Thanks, Unati. All right. I do know that somebody else also asked if they could help me. All right. I've got Rito. Rito? You should be able to unmute yourself, Rito. Do you want to help me with the next one? Rito, I see you are unmuted, but I unfortunately can't hear you. Okay, I can't hear Rachel. Gabby. Gabby, are you asking me a question or do you want to help me with the next one? Gabby?
Ma'am,
Yes.
confused of the thing.
Pardon me, Gabby? Okay, Gabby, unfortunately your screen keeps on freezing. Jabulile? Jabulile, would you like to help me?
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Jabulile. Let's go. Do you want to help me with the next one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's go, Jabulile.
Negative 4 times 4 is negative 16 minus 7
Good.
is negative 23.
Is negative?
23.
Good, negative 23. Right, keep going. What's the next one?
Negative 4 times 5 is negative 20 minus 7 is negative 27.
Good, well done. Next one?
Negative 6 times negative 4 is 24 minus 7 is 31.
Negative 31. Good, what's the next one?
Negative 4 times 7 is 28 minus 7 is negative 35.
Good, and what's the last one?
32 times 8 times negative 4 is 32 minus 7 is negative 39.
Fantastic. Good, well done. So we
Thank
filled
you,
in the
ma'am.
table. Well done, thank you so much. We have filled in the table, okay? We see that there is a common rule. I see that I have somebody asking me if they can help me with the rule, of course. Right. Kemo, tell me, how are you going to help me with the rule?
Ma'am, the rule is
First, Kemo, is there
you
a common
add.
difference?
No, ma'am.
Are you sure, Kemo? Is there a common difference between each of these numbers? What's happening each time to get to the next one?
Ma'am, you add 4.
I'm minusing 4. Good, well done. Good, so each time I'm minusing 4. Good, well done. So I'm going to say y is equal to minus 4x and then I'm going to say minus
Minus 4.
minus 7. Hey, be careful. I'm going to say minus 7. All right. Thank you so much, Kemo. All right, guys. So there I have my table. I put my numbers in and I can go and I can work out what my rule is, even though they had already given it to me. All right, last one for tonight of them giving me the rule. Then we're going to work out if they give me the pattern, can we work out what the rule is? So last one for tonight of them giving me the rule. So the last rule we're going to look at is y is equal to 2x plus 2. So here is my table again for you guys. Here is a table again for you guys. I'm going to go and tidy my table up for you quickly. Okay. My table is y is equal to 2x plus 2. I want to give you guys a nice opportunity to go and put all those numbers in the table for me. Okay, I am going to drop everybody's hands. All right, y is equal to 2x plus 2. Go and fill in your table very quickly. All right, and I see a hand up already. I have Umar. So Umar, I'm going to give everybody a few seconds here to fill in, and then I haven't heard from you today, so I'm definitely going to ask for your help. All right, Umar, are you going to help me fill this table in?
Yes,
All right, Amar. Let's go, Amar.
So for number one, you'd say
Oh, I'm so sorry, Amar. Your sound doesn't seem to be working very well. We keep losing you. Amar, I'm going to come back to you for the next question, but for some reason your sound keeps jumping in and out. I'm going to go to Grace because she was the next one here. Right, Grace, do you want to help me out?
Miss, I wanted you to explain the recent table you did because I didn't understand it.
Okay, Grace. Grace, can I come back and explain it after I'm finished with this one?
Yes, Miss, you can.
Okay, cool. All right, Grace, I will come back. All right, Dimple.
Ma'am?
Dimple, are you going to go through this table with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's go, Dimple.
We say 2
Mhm.
times 1
Mhm.
is equals to 2, and then we do 2 plus 2, it will be 4.
Good, nice, Dimple. Right, next one.
2 times 2 is 8, plus 2 will be 10.
Are you sure 2 times 2 is 8? What's 2 times 2?
2 times 2. 8?
Mhm. Try again. What's 2 times 2?
4.
4. Good. And 4 plus 2 is 8.
6. So
Oh, I'm so sorry. You are right. You are right. I'm just testing you. So 2 times 2 is 4 and plus 2 is 6. Right, carry on going, Dimple.
2 times 3 is 6,
Mhm.
plus 2 will be 8.
Good. Next one.
2 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 2,
Good.
it will be 10.
Good. Thank you, Dimple. I'm just going to give somebody else a chance as well. Thank you, Dimple, for helping me out. All right. Milukushle.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, are you going to finish this table off with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's go.
So, ma'am, 6 times 2 is 12, plus 2 is 14.
Okay, cool.
7 times 2 plus 2 is 16, ma'am.
Awesome.
And 8 times 2 is 16, plus 2 is 18.
Thank you so much. Right, that one was too easy, am I right? Okay, thanks, Milukushle. All right, guys, so these are super, super easy. You just follow the rules, you plug in your figures, and you get your answers. So we're going to move down to the next section now. So the next section now, for each pattern, create an equation in the form y is equal to. You may use any method. You may use any method. So the first one they've given me is 7, 11, 15, 19, 23, carrying on. Okay, so they've told you you may use any method to work this out, all right? The method I'm going to use is the one I like to use. First of all, I'm going to say to myself, well, what's the first term? What's the first term that I've got? The first term that I've got over here is 7. Okay, the first term that I've got over there is 7. All right, what is the difference that I've got between these different terms? So the difference between these different terms, between 7 and 11, I'm adding 4. Between 11 and 15, I'm adding 4. 15 and 19, I'm adding 4. And 19 and 23, I'm adding 4. So the difference each time is equal to 4. So that means if I'm going to go look for my rule, I'm going to say y, because that's the way they wanted the rule, is equal to 4 times by x, okay, 4 times by x plus something. So 4 times by x plus something. That's how I found the rule. I say 4 times by x plus something. Okay, the difference times by x plus something will give me the rule. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to go say, all right, I know already, okay, that 7 is equal to 4 times by 1. Right, so 4 times by 1 gives me 4 plus what will give me 7 plus 3. So I go and I put a 3 in here. Let me go and check if that works. So if I go and say to myself, this is my second term. So 4 times by 2 gives me 8. And 8 plus 3, does that give me 11? Yes, it does. What's 4 times 3? 4 times 3? 4 times 3 gives me 12. And 12 plus 3, does it give me 15? Yes, it does. What about 4 times 4? 4 times 4 is 16. And 16 plus 3, does that give me 19? Yes, it does. All right, I want you guys to go and try B for me now. I want you to go and try to do B. So there is the pattern for B. I'm making it nice and big using whatever method that you want to use. So you can use a method that you learned in school. You can use a method that we've done here in class in Watobe. Whichever method you want to go and try, I want you to go and try B for me now. So go and give B a try for me now. You're going to find a rule, which is y is equal to, okay? Y is equal to, I've got 2 questions here. I'm going to ask Amishle. Amishle, what is your question in the meantime while everyone's looking for B? Everyone's looking for B.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, Amishle. How can I help? Hi, Amishle. How can I help?
Ma'am, the previous table that you did, ma'am, may you please explain how you got to negative 15, please?
How did I get negative 15? Okay. Which previous question was that for B? Amishle, can you still hear me? Amishle, are you still there?
Yes, ma'am. It
Which
was
question?
the rule.
Which question?
A, ma'am.
For A.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This one over here, y is equal to 3x minus 1. All right, I can't really hear Amishle. I seem to be losing you, Amishle. I'm not sure which question you wanted. All right, Amishle, I'm going to have to come back to you. I can't really hear you. All right, Grace. Grace, what's your question?
Hello, Miss.
Hi.
My question was when it was negative 15. I think it was question 1B.
Yes. Okay, Grace, let's have a look. All right. So Grace, I'm going to go do it over here. I'm not going to put him in a table, Grace. I'm going to put him one next to another. Well, I'll try to put him in a table. Let's see if we can fit a table here. So here's my table, Grace.
Yes, Miss.
Okay, so I've got X and I've got Y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, happy, Grace? All right, we good?
Ma'am?
Are you good that I've drawn a table?
Miss.
Okay,
Yes.
so now, Grace, I've got y is equal to negative 4x minus 7. Happy that that's the sum?
Yes.
So I've got y is equal to negative 4 times by 1 minus 7, hey?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so negative 4 times by 1 is negative 4, and negative 4 minus 7. What's negative 4 minus 7, Grace?
Miss,
How
can I
you do
quickly
that?
calculate it?
Sure,
Miss,
or
can
you
I
can draw
quickly?
a number line. You can draw a number line. You can put negative 4, and you can minus 7, hey? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it gets you to negative 11, hey?
But Miss,
Yeah.
oh, okay, Miss. Yes, I understand.
Negative 7, negative 8, negative 9, negative 10. Does it make sense?
Yes, Miss, it does make sense.
Okay, so now my next one I need to say, all right, y is equal to negative 4 times by 2 minus 7. So y is equal to negative 4 times by 2 is negative 8 minus 7.
8 minus 7.
And if I go draw my number line, that's going to take me to negative 15.
15. Oh, okay, Miss, I understand now.
Makes sense. What do you need to do? You always need to draw a number line, hey?
Number line.
Okay,
Yes.
don't forget. All right.
I
so,
would, Miss. Thank
good.
you.
You're welcome. Okay, guys. So if I'm looking at this next one here, what was happening each time? So each time here, I was minusing 8. Okay, so each time I was minusing 8. So I had y is equal to negative 8x, right? Negative 8x, and I would have needed to plus 13. That was a tricky one. So if you got that one, well done, guys. Y is equal to negative 8x plus 13. Y is equal to negative 8x plus 13. Well done. All right, I'm going to do one more for you on the screen. Then what I want you to do, okay, is I want you to save those last two. Take a screenshot of them, write them down on paper, and I want you to try use the Watobe bot to help you out. I want you to use the Watobe bot to help you out. JC was on here a few weeks ago, and he told you guys all about the Watobe bot, about how powerful the Watobe bot is, how the Watobe bot can help you answer questions. All right. So I want you to take a screenshot of the last two, and I want you to use the Watobe bot to help you. Okay, so let's try the next two together. So in the next two, or in the next one, sorry, I'm adding 10 each time. So I'm going to have y is equal to 10x, all right, 10x, and I'm going to say plus 20. Y is equal to 10x plus 20. All right, somebody's asking me, how do you use the Watobe bot, ma'am? And what are the last two you are talking about? Somebody's asking me, where can we find the Watobe bot? So the Watobe bot is on WhatsApp. Mr. Hugo, do you know how they can get access to the Watobe bot?
Okay, so the Watobe bot should have messaged them already to introduce itself to them. So if you have not received a message from the Watobe bot yet, please WhatsApp the helpline, the Watobe helpline, and just make sure that they have the correct cell phone number for you on the system, and then the bot will send you a message.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Hugo. All right, guys, please. You see, Tara Jane said there that she used the Watobe bot today for hours to do her homework, right? It's really, really helpful. When I'm talking about the last two, okay, there's D and E there. So D and E to help you. All right. I do see that Anand keeps saying that he keeps raising his hand and not getting any service. All right, Anam, I know that Mr. Hugo does ask you to please put your questions in the chat as well, because you won't always get all your questions answered. I will answer your question now, but you are supposed to also ask your question in the chat as well. Otherwise, I am going to answer Anam's question, and then Mr. Hugo is going to put tonight's poll for you guys in the chat, And otherwise, you are more than welcome to log out. Guys, thank you so much for tonight's lesson. I hope that you have a really good week and I will see you on Wednesday. Right, Anam, how may I help you?
Ma'am, I don't understand where you say minus 8x plus 13. I don't understand how you got that answer.
All right, let's have a look, Anam. So for this one, Anam, you tell me what's the difference each time, Anam, from this pattern?
Minus 8.
The difference is minus 8. So you're going to say y is equal to minus 8, and you put in x, hey?
Yes, ma'am.
Plus something. Do you agree I've got to say plus something, hey?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you always say plus something. So for this one, I'm going to say y is equal to negative 8 times 1. What's negative 8 times 1, Anam?
Negative 8 times 1. It's 8.
Negative 8, good. And I need that negative 8 to be a 5. So how do I get negative 8 all the way to 5? Well, I can go and draw a number line. And I can say here negative 8, and I need it to be a 5. And I can go count, hey? So I can go say negative 7, negative 6, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. Oh, I'm running out of space. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I can go count here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Yes, ma'am.
Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am, I get it.
Okay, good.
Thank
Well done,
you.
Anam. Thank you. Don't forget to always put your question in the chat as well.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Tara Jane, what's your question?
Ma'am, it's just a question I wanted to ask because we did this at school today. So, like, we got a table where we have to fill in what the rule is, and so for example, the first one was 3x minus 1, which I figured out, but then you know that so it's basically 2, 5, 8, 11, and then there's a blank, then 26 and blank. So basically, I'm doing the rule, and then it just comes to a random number. So it's so hard to differentiate whether it's a constant difference because it just comes to.
I know. So what you do is you use this 2, 5, 8, 11, and you can see each time that with these ones, what's the difference? The difference is 3 here.
Yes.
Okay, so with these ones, you're adding 3. So it's y is equal to 3x. All right. Then how do you get, so you go say 3 times 1 is 3. How do you get from 3 to 1? You say minus 1 here. So that's your rule. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you use your rule to fill in the rest of your blocks that are missing.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
That's how
Thank you.
that's how they trick you.
Yeah. It's very confusing.
Very confusing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tara Jane. All right. I see that Kachotsa, you keep telling me that you don't understand number 1D, but your hand is not up. So if you raise your hand, I can answer your question. Right, Umpile? Umpile, what's your question? Hi. Oh, Umpile, you're really quiet. I can't hear you.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask you, can you please repeat number for 2A?
For 2A, sure, of course I can repeat it for you, Umpile. So for 2A, if I'm looking at 2A, Umpile, all right, what's happening each time, Umpile? What's the difference each time?
Ma'am, plus 4.
Plus 4. So I'm going to say y is equal to 4x, hey? Plus something. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so 4 times 1 is 4. How do I get from 4, Umpile, to 7?
Ma'am, 4 times.
So I say 4 times 1 is 4. And how do I get from 4 to 7?
Plus 3.
Plus 3, good. And that's it. That's how you do it.
Ma'am, can you please also repeat how to get from from 11 to 15?
Of course I can. So you say to yourself, so 4, now remember that this here is term 1, this is term 2, this is term 3, this is term 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
So what's 4 times 2?
4 times 2 is 8.
And what's 8 plus 3?
11.
11. What's 4 times 3?
16.
4 times 3, are you sure?
64.
4 times 3?
4 times 3. Oh, 12.
12, good. And what's 12 plus 3 is? 15. Okay, Ompile, keep practicing. You'll get it, I promise, okay?
Yes.
All right. Okay, guys, I'm going to answer one more question, and then I have to log out for the night. So I have one more question to answer, and then I'm logging out for the night. Angel, what is your question? I see you have your hand up.
Okay. My question is -4 minus 7. How do I get -4 minus 7 is equals to 11 is equals to minus 11? How do I get minus?
Okay, so Angel, I did explain this more than once. If you go and you watch the video, okay, you'll be able to see the video. All right, you need to use a number line. All right, and you need to count on the number line. Okay, Angel. So make sure that you go and watch the video again. I did explain it twice. All right, go and watch on the video, and you'll be able to check it out on the video. Okay, thank you, Angel. All right, one more question then. Ritume.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, how can I help?
Ma'am, how did you get the answer 2C, ma'am?
For 2C.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's go have a look at 2C quickly. All right, so 2C. All right, so what am I adding each time?
10.
10, good. So I'm going to say y is equal to 10x. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, now I'm going to say this is term 1, term 2, term 3, term 4, term 5, term 6, term 7. Hey, happy?
Yes, ma'am.
So 10 times by 1. What's 10 times 1?
10 times 1, ma'am. It's 10.
10, good. And how do I get from 10 to 30? What must I add to 10 to get to 30?
You must add 10 plus 3, ma'am.
Okay, think about it again. What must I add to 10 to get to 30? What must I add to 10 to get to 30?
Ma'am, you must add 3, ma'am.
I must add 3. 10 plus 3 will give me 13. What must I add to 10 to get to 30?
10 plus 20, ma'am.
10 plus 20, good. All right, so let's go try the next one now. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
What's 10 times by 2?
Ma'am?
What's 10 times 2?
10 times 2, it's 12. 20, ma'am.
It's 20, good. And what's 20 plus 20?
It's 40, ma'am.
It's 40, good. All right, let's try the next one. What's 10 times 3?
10 times 3, ma'am. It's 30, ma'am.
And what's 30 plus 20?
It's 50.
So is my rule working?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, does it make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.